Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Luann. Please like and subscribe if you like my video. Today I'm going to talk about things that drive me absolutely crazy about the INTP. I made a video about how much I love the INTP and I absolutely adore the INTP. However, they are almost as unbalanced as I am. Now, I think that my personal experience with the INTP, well, I think that my husband is about as intensely INTP as I am ESTP. We're not very well-rounded people, and I think maybe that's a part of the reason we fit so well together, but also why he is insanely, drives me crazy how intensely he is an INTP. If you're into the Enneagram types, he is an Enneagram 5. So I've had conversations in my comment sections with INTPs that seem a little more well-rounded than my husband. So that may make a difference. So the first thing I want to talk about is the amount of time it takes you people to make a decision. Oh my Lord. Oh, it pains me when we have to make a decision together. I tell you, because when I see a problem, I come up with a million solutions. Like, I just start shooting them out. We can do this, we can do that, we can do this. And my INTP husband sits there and he's like, "What? You have no respect." He doesn't say this. He just gets really intense and non-responsive. And he looks really, really pained. But I always feel like he thinks I have zero respect for possibilities and what could happen and what could go wrong. And it just pains him. But what happens when he's in charge of making the decisions is, say that we have a decision to make that we kind of have to make together, and I come up with a million solutions and he's like, "No, let me think about it." So I give him 3 months to think about it, and then I come at him again. "Hey, have you made a decision? We could do this and this and this." He'll be like, "Those are all things you mentioned before. They don't work out." Like, how do you know they don't work out? A year later, you still haven't made a decision, and if we had taken one of my wrong paths, we'd be on a path at least. Makes zero sense to me. It drives me absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But the man will not be pushed around, and it's something I have to live with. Something that goes along with that drives me absolutely crazy about the INTP, my INTP specifically, is he cannot answer a question without questioning the question. I think that he is just so protective of his knowledge and what goes into his head to disrupt his knowledge that's already there, that if you ask him a question, he has to question the question. And he said he's always just been terrible at tests. A simple way of giving an example of this is when we watch the Newlywed show. We don't watch it anymore because I just get so frustrated with him. But occasionally when we used to watch it, I'd be like, "Oh, hey, here's a question you can answer, Car. What's my favorite food?" And he'll say, "Well, are they talking about on the weekend or during the week?" How does it make a difference? I'm like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Just the first thing that comes to mind. "Well, Luann, that depends." No, it really doesn't depend. What do I get the most joy out of eating? Even if you're wrong, like, just make a decision. But no, he will not answer a question without asking a question. It is so bad. Last night I was getting ready to film a video. He had some of his work clothes in the washer, and it was later at night. I didn't know what time he wanted to go to bed. But I can't have the washer running when I'm doing a video. So I asked him, I said, "Hey, can I pause the washer for about an hour and then restart it when I'm done making the video?" He had a question about my question. I had to break it down for him even further about how things would go down for him to be able to answer my question. He is not balanced. He is as unbalanced as I am. The next thing, living in your guys' own reality. I tell you, I think this, all these problems stem from the same problem. It's his protection of his knowledge. So what he knows, what he has, he lives in his own little reality. And in the video I talked about how much I adore, which I adore this part of the INTP because, I mean, it's just so cute. But what he has in his brain, he creates systems in life so that he can go through life and just participate in his own reality. So to get him to change his mind or change his path or change a habit or go in a different direction has to take some kind of catastrophic or earthquake, hurricane, like it has to be insanely massive eruption of some sort to get him to hop outside and see the reality. Sometimes I even really feel like he may have a missing part of his brain. I mean, I've thought about it for years. I'm like, what is wrong with this man? Does he just have a missing part of his brain? I mean, it's not so far-fetched. Something can be happening right in front of his face and I can lay out the reality for him. For instance, my husband is so kind and he always assumes the best of people. In one of my videos, I talked about how he had a tenant in one of his houses when we got together that just wasn't paying. Now, Carr had been friends with this guy before and they went to the same church, and Carr kept telling me, no, he'll pay, he'll pay, he'll pay, he'll pay. He'll make an effort, he cares. He'd not been paying for forever. And I happen to know that people do not hold themselves to a certain standard that makes people capable of doing things that wouldn't occur to the rest of us that hold ourselves to a standard to do. So Carr, because that he is such a noble, upstanding person and he holds himself to such a high standard, he believes that everyone else is like that, or he did. It took me breaking down exactly what was happening in front of his face multiple times for him to be like, okay, yeah, you know what? I need to put some systems in place that keep me from, in the real estate part of this, keep me from getting run over, because time and time again, Carr would want to be kind, and kind doesn't always work out when you're dealing with people that don't hold themselves to a standard. Which, by the way, if you are one of those people, you'll be much happier if you hold yourself to a higher standard. But anyway, so that is a problem. I could do an entire video about him living in his own reality that is both cute and annoying. Like, it's the cutest thing about him, but it's the most annoying part about him. One of the cute things about him in his own reality, so he's always been his mom's favorite child and his sister's favorite sibling. So he's lived his entire life just being so adored, and he knows that he is adorable. So he goes through life with this thought that he's just adorable. I mean, he is 40-year-old man that just knows that he is adorable, and it's just so cute. I really love that about him. He'll never change his mind about that because he spent 40 years just being adored. So that's really cute. Now, another thing I really dislike about the INTP, and an INTP mentioned this in my comment section. So when we have disagreements, even before Carr is proven that he's right. So usually if we disagree, Carr is right. I mean, you've seen how I respect knowledge. Compared to Carr, I barely respect it. I really, well, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, in comparison to Carr, I do not respect knowledge. So he is usually right when we disagree. But before he's even proven to be right, I get the I was right face. So we can be having a conversation and I'm saying something that goes against everything that's in his brain, and he will make the most unpleasant, unhappy face. And I'm like, why are you being so mean to me with your face? He's like, I'm not. We've had a full-blown argument about him being mean to me with his face. when we disagree. And I was like, okay, well, let's have a disagreement on camera so that you can see exactly what you do to me. And he wasn't willing to do that. He's like, no, we are not going to be that crazy. But he does. I get the I was right face before he's even proven to be right. The other thing that is both adorable and annoying about the INTP is their God complex. My INTP is pretty arrogant. He really believes that for the most part, he's probably the smartest person he's ever met. I mean, he's not gonna hate the rest of the world for, you know, being less than, but for the most part, he's just a step above. For instance, I told him I was making this video and I was like, hey, what do you think would be a top 5 thing that's annoying about the INTP? He thought about it for a second. He said, I can't think of anything. So then I started naming off, like, especially his questioning questions. That's the one that gets me all the time. And so when I read that one, he was like, okay, yeah. But for the most part, he just can't even think that there would be something that would be that annoying about the INTP. I really hope that you've watched how much I adore the INTP before you watch this video. But I mean, with every personality types, there are benefits and there are downsides, and these are just some of them that come to mind with living with an INTP. Please like and subscribe. My name is Luann.